Welcome makers, I'm excited to share this clay Kakakla Kahoa. I have been experimenting for the last few months before creating this tutorial. The clay in this Kahoa is to represent a Tongan Kahoa. You can use any color of clay. I have focused on creating the natural colors of yellow, orange, and red. I do think this is one of the most realistic artificial styles that you can make. First, we will start with the base layer of the Kahoa. There are several materials you can use as the base. The clay can be paired with fresh tea leaf ribbon or tea leaf ribbon. I will link my playlist in the description box that shows a variety of tutorials for the base. Today I'm going to use fowl as the base of the Kahoa. I haven't been able to find fowl for a while, but I will update the description box with links for fowl as they become available. I have also used tan ribbon in place of fowl. I need to create strips by cutting the fowl to size as well as separating the layers from each other. My pieces are going to be about 16 inches long and about 1.5 to 2 inches wide. I used 22 to 24 of these double loop pieces of fowl for an adult sized Kahoa. I'm going to create a 2-loop piece by folding up the back piece to create the bottom loop and then flipping it over and folding the front piece up to create the second loop on top. I'm tying it at the top with a small hair elastic. This step is optional because we will tie some twine in this spot as well and use it to weave the pieces together. I like to do this as an extra layer of security. For the next step, you can use strips of fowl. I'm using my lay twine and making sure that I have 3 to 4 inches of twine to weave in. I like to do a little batch process by folding all of my fowl and securing it with rubber bands, cutting my twine, and then tying the twine onto each piece of fowl with a double knot. I have some lay twine that I prepared like any other Kahoa. 3 strands of lay twine about 100 inches long, and I have braided and tied off one end, which will be used to tie on the Kahoa. I am placing my first piece of fowl on the center strand and braiding it in. I will continue to braid a small section until adding in the next piece of fowl. I want each piece of fowl to touch or slightly overlap since it will be spread out when worn. After I've added my second piece of fowl, I'm going to tightly braid a few times. Then I'm going to add the excess twine into my braid by putting it behind the next piece of fowl and adding it into the braid. I am trimming this piece of twine that I added so that it is long enough to stay in the braid, but short enough that it will not show once I add my individual Kakakla pieces. Once I am done braiding the fowl base, I'm going to tie a knot and braid about 4 inches on the other end like we did in the beginning. I am trimming the top of the fowl so that it is even all the way across. I am stringing curling ribbon through the loops of each row of fowl and securing the ribbon with the knot to help keep everything in line. Now we will move on to making the clay Kakakla pieces. I'm using Sculpey Primo clay, which I purchased on Amazon and at my local craft store. You can also use Sculpey Souffle, but Sculpey 3 is not recommended for this type of project. The amount of clay is going to vary by your design, but I would estimate you need 2 to 3 2-ounce packages of clay. A very important part of working with polymer clay is conditioning the clay. Under conditioning the clay will lead to breakage. I use a pasta machine. You can condition or roll out your clay by hand, but it will take a lot longer. I have a motorized pasta machine and it makes the process so much easier. I will link my Amazon storefront in the description that has basic clay making supplies. To condition the clay, I flatten my clay with the roller and run it through my pasta machine until the sides are smooth. In the beginning, as I roll the clay through the machine, I will fold it up and feed that back through my machine, and eventually I will run the clay just as a single layer a few times. As far as thickness, my pasta machine is set on 4. I would estimate that when conditioning clay, I run it through the machine 15 to 20 times. Here are some of the colors that I like to use to represent fresh fall. This is my favorite yellow to use and does require you to mix the clay. It is just a 1-to-1 ratio of 2 Sculpey Primo yellows, 1 part cadmium yellow and 1 part mustard. I use a variety of small clay cutters. Here are the specific ones that I use for the following designs, and I will add links in the description. Some other essentials I use are a glass cutting mat for the polymer clay, a blade or X-Acto knife, a baking sheet with a silicone mat, and a few clay tools to pick up the clay pieces. Once I condition the clay, I will cut out each individual shape. The shapes are then layered together and baked to create each Kakakla piece. I ordered these wood blank stamps to glue onto my most used shapes to make the cutting process easier. One of the reasons I'm using the silicone baking mat is so that I can place a paper template underneath to serve as an outline, keeping my finished pieces more uniform in shape and size. This is one of my favorite designs. The template is a teardrop shape. Starting from the bottom, place 1 oval at the tip of the teardrop. The next layer has 2 ovals, and the next has a row of 3. Now we will place an oval on the top of the 3rd row in the center and follow the template around the circle shape. I finished this shape by cutting out rectangles and cutting them in half with the X-Acto knife. Then I layered these pieces in a star shape in the center. In this example, I left the center empty and finished it by sewing on halala flowers. There are a few ways to attach the Kakakla pieces. In the first example, there were small gaps from the overlap in the center, and I sewed on the piece using those holes. You can also create holes to sew through before baking. If your center is thin enough in a single layer, you can sew directly through the clay, but it may cause little cracks, so I would avoid that. You can also glue on the pieces, which I will show towards the end. For this yellow design, I'm layering 2 rows around my template. These longer white shapes are from clay cutters meant for earrings, but I'm cutting them in half and layering them to finish the design. Then I will finish with one more yellow piece in the center. For this design, I'm going to sew it on in the center and add a dab of glue on each side. I gently lift up the piece and use a clay tool or large needle to create the holes before baking the clay. Here's one more example. In this one, I use one white piece of clay in the center to finish the design. And again, this is the yellow that I mixed to create a custom color. After the designs are created, I bake according to the package instructions, which are 275 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. I am adding a strip of felt to the underside so that I have a surface to hot glue on some faux leaves. You can use any leaf. I like using one that looks similar to maile because that is what you would see in a fresh fa kahoa with fau. The particular one I am using is from Hobby Lobby. I cut another strip of felt that I will glue my clay pieces onto, and then I will hot glue that on top of my layers. As an extra measure of security, I prefer to sew through the middle and then secure the sides with hot glue. Here are some of my finished clay Kakakla kahoas. Thanks for watching.